This is Screendivers. In this week's episode, we are talking about Battle Royale. This movie was released in 2000. It was directed by director Kinji Fukasaku, screenplay by Kenta Fukasaku, based on Battle Royale by Koshun Takami, produced by Masao Sato, Masumi Okada, Taro Yamamoto, and starring Tatsuya Fujiwara, Aki Maeda, Taro Yamamoto, Chiaki Kuriyama, Ko Shibasaki, Masanobu Ando, Beat Takeshi, and many, many other rising actors. Cinematography by Katsumi Yanagishima, edited by Hirohide Abu, music by Masamichi Amano, produced by Battle Royale Productions Committee, distributed by the legendary Toei Company, released on December 16, 2000. This movie has a running time of 113 minutes. That's the theatrical release. And a director's cut that runs for 122 minutes. This movie was shot entirely in Japan for a reported budget of $4.5 million and allegedly a rate $30.6 million at the box office. How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I am good as well. How are you, Umba?
I'm alright, man. I'm alright. But today I'm even better because today we are thrilled to welcome a force of nature to the show. She's the master of the Iron Horse, a professional train conductor who keeps these busy cities moving. And yet, don't let the uniform fool you. Beneath that conductor's cap lies the mind of a legendary geek. She's either diving at first into video games lore or geeking out over the mechanical majesty of all things Transformers. Ladies and gentlemen, get your tickets and clear the platform. The signal is now green for the one, the only, Winter!
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was awesome.
I'm impressed. Yeah.
I'm purple, though. I almost passed out doing that, as usual.
Yeah, you got to breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in this heat. It is tough.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. What's the temperature today? What is it?
The inside is just burning right now. I'm in
It's
a
9
box.
degrees over here, so.
We are in the midst of the FIFA World Cup. Today we have a big day planned. I don't give a shit that it's going to time this episode, but hey, we're topical as well. After recording, going to get an hour nap because, we're getting older. And then there's a group of us going to see Evil Dead Burn. Once we come out of that, we're coming back here. There's a barbecue here. And then at 10 o'clock, we are screening the Norway-England game. And I'm afraid to say, we're all supporting Norway.
Holland, Holland, Vikings in the USA. Norway going all the way. Ha ha ha, Holland. Hey, Holland, Holland. Monday morning Superman. Stop exploring if you can. Ha ha ha, Holland. Hey, Holland.
Whatever. Don't worry, I'll be up. I'll be watching it on my end too. I've got a Norwegian friend coming over, and yes, I will be supporting England. Nice. Thank you very much.
I have to support Norway by proxy because I don't want to sleep on the fucking couch. So.
Otherwise, you'll be castrated very quickly.
A quintessential question must be asked. Ricky, what's this movie about?
In a fictional 1997, Japan has gone the way of most fascist dictatorships, which has now created the Republic of Greater Eastern Asia. This has led to the BR Act, which is also known as the Battle Royale Act. This allows the government to put together single classrooms of 42 children to go up against each other until there is one left. There are no parents' interference. There is no adult interference whatsoever, apart from if a child tries to escape the Battle Royale Act. And then, by all means, everybody's life is undervalued and used against each other. This will leave nothing but marks of blood on every single situation in every single mind of each one of the competitors until there is one left.
Exactly what this movie is about. Pretty much. Yeah.
It's basically Fortnite.
Yeah.
And where did Fortnite come from?
And this movie ruined video games.
No, video games ruined this movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, technically, it's professional wrestling, I think, is the first
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
big
where it
media
comes from,
battle
yeah.
royale.
Oh my God! Did you guys see Ricky's eyes light up?
Yeah, well, I've got the book and I was rereading it again, and the first, the preface, the initial introduction to it is a pro wrestling nerd just geeking out on what a battle royale is in pro wrestling, and that's the like 5 to 6 page description of pro wrestling's Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
This is the opening of the book.
Yeah, the opening of the book is literally a geek just talking about what a battle royale or a Royal Rumble is.
Wow.
And you know where initially he got the idea.
Well, initially it was a dream, and then as he described it to a friend, they said, "Oh, you're just talking about a battle royale," and then that friend geeked out, which is what he then put into the book.
I love all this little trivia bits where it's all kind of intermingled into everything from computer gaming to wrestling to waking dreams, basically, or technically a nightmare, I would say.
I mean, also including the nightmare childhood of the director himself as well. Yeah,
I was gonna go there next.
Yeah.
There's a particular reason why Mr. Kinji Fukasaku took this movie. It's not. I mean, it's tragic life, really.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that he was, while we were watching this movie, which, by the way, to our listeners, sometimes if we get a chance, I would have all of us, at the screening. I normally we screen the movie here. In this instance, geographically, Ricky couldn't be with us because he's in Australia. But we had a chance of getting myself, Winter, and Steve together. And, we tried our best not to talk about the movie while we were watching
talking
it.
about a movie.
Yeah.
We actually did pretty well. We did pretty well.
We did stop ourselves a few times.
Yeah. There was a
Yeah.
compulsion to do so, and we all said collectively, let's talk about it when we record. But in regards to Mr. Fukasaku, I did say one thing. Like, we were talking about the sequel, and what I didn't know, obviously, we all dived, and in my dive, I found out something I didn't know, which is Mr. Fukasaku died of prostate cancer. He got to shoot the beginning or a few scenes of the sequel and then died of prostate cancer. His son had to continue. So that movie was slated or whatever, but I think part of the reason why it was slated, not only because of the topical nature of that sequel, that's another conversation, but mainly because the sensibility that this director brought to this movie is kind of essential to the movie. Like you said, Winter, from what I found, which is probably what you found out as well, is he was 15 years old. He was working in an ammunition factory when there was a U.S. strike over Japan. And then he had a bunch of adults telling him to clear the bodies of his friends, the people he was working with. So at a very young age, he had this kind of vein running through his persona of distrust towards adults. And this is what this movie is about. And now I'm glad that we watched the director's cut. I looked at everything that was taken out and whatever was kept in. And as much as, some of the melodrama injected in some of the sequences, and there's a bunch of those, but to our listeners, if you're watching this movie, go out of your way to watch the director's cut. It's an extra 9 minutes, 10 minutes, but they're essential. They are essential. They give a little bit of exposition about one of the characters, a sequence. And the epilogue is kind of essential as well. I think we're going to talk about that. But yeah, you're right. Fukasaku had a tragic life. I mean, before walking into this recording today, I kept thinking about what is this movie truly about? We all know what it is about, right? There's for the past, since the 90s, there's been a decline in birth rates in Japan. And this is not even the movie that made me think about that. There was another movie that came out a few years back. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It was actually this guy's first movie as well. It's fantastic. Fantastic. And I think I screened it here. Steve, I can't remember if you came over.
Yeah, I did.
Did we watch it together?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah, the movie in question, Best Wishes to All. That was the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
That guy has made another movie as well. I can't remember the title now, 3 years later. And again, same topic. But at the core of Best Wishes to All, same topic, which is decline of birth rates, an aging population. And it's yet again, this movie does what it does incredibly well. You were talking about, we were kidding around about this movie, or the other way around, destroying video games, or video games destroying this movie. No, but it's incredibly influential. Particularly looking back, it was a pleasure. Did you guys enjoy the revisit when we watched it?
Oh my God.
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And one thing I need to do is shout out to Arrow Films for this transfer, because it's fantastic. We watched it from the Arrow Films 25th anniversary release? You've got the Blu-ray. It's a 4K transfer, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a good
absolutely immaculate. The colors and the tones in it were fantastic. The blacks, the depths of the blacks in some of the shaded scenes, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know how well this is relevant for right now, but this is also one of those films that they tried to bury, basically.
Yeah.
It was they tried to remove this film from screenings, from release. The reaction to it was really, if you think about it, pretty exaggerated, because like hyperviolent cinema was a thing before Battle Royale, definitely after. And the issue was that seeing what was happening in the film was unsettling to the people who viewed it in Japan. Even the book was in a competition for horror novels, and it was considered too violent, was a response to that, which again is like, guys, it's a horror movie. It's meant to be horror, and there is worse stuff out there. The problem is it touched a nerve with, the people at the time.
When I was looking for factoids, I came across something, and I'm surprised that this is not like a Guinness Book, like world record of some kind. Did you know that they had 6,000 actors at the audition? And the process skimmed them down to 800. Then from 800 went down to 42. And then the director put the 42 selected through 6 months of training before the shoot. It's fucking crazy.
Weirdly enough, there was only like four people who were actually 15, which is the age which they're supposed to be.
The rest are older or younger?
Older.
Okay.
So for the most part, I think the oldest was 25. So yeah, that's really crazy.
I mean, it's a shame that we can't, because we normally do that in the show whenever we mention character actors. It's not that we're strange we're not a strange to Japanese culture or cinema. We're all fans, but the idea is that it's harder. I think it's harder to go, and that actor was in, you know what I mean? Like, to kind of see the arc of a lot of the actors, because apparently this movie in particular was a springboard for a lot of the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention that a reason alone to watch this movie is Mr. Kitano.
Yes.
The fact that he had, Takeshi's Castle running for 14 years, and he's the equivalent of a host here as well. But what I didn't know, again, doing the dive, apparently his stance towards acting is very pragmatic. Like, he, in any interview, if he gets a chance, he will say, I will do exactly what a director tells me. And that's not the feeling that I get from Kitano. I think that they get him because he's got that aura. Like, every time you see him on screen, it's not just that it's his looks, or it's just his mannerisms as well. Maybe directors are clever enough to cast him so that they know that he's going to be. I mean, his fucking name is Kitano here.
I think that like you say, they know what they're working with, and he is that. From all the films leading up to this, he was like the quiet presence that you know is going to explode into violence.
Yeah.
You just don't
mentioned
know when.
Anna B. You mentioned Anna B when we were watching this.
Yeah, Sonatine, even Violent Cop. They're all films where, at some moment, this guy is going to explode. But for the rest of the time, he'll even be like, he'll seem friendly. He might even seem like he's a bit of a joke until that moment comes. And if you think about it, really, it's like, that's the whole, the fear of what you're going to get in a classroom from the wrong kind of teacher or principal. It's like, he's like personifying that in this film. So, yeah.
I'm going to come clean about something immediately, because it's going to come up, and I don't give a shit. This show's about truth, so I'm going to give you my truth now. I had watched this movie 25 years ago last time, or 26 years ago, because I watched it on release, and the next time I watched this was with you guys. This was my second viewing, which is ridiculous that 25 years have gone by, But on my first viewing and on the last viewing, I was convinced that the phone call that Mr. Kitano takes throughout the movie was with his wife.
It's
No,
not.
I was right. It's his daughter. I didn't realize that. Did you know?
Yeah, because I read the book. And I also read the first, I think when it was released in 2000s, the English translation on Tokyo Pop. I think it was maybe 2001, 2002. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was the first release, and then there was a second one in 2003. I think came to the UK market 2004, but the translation was 2003, the second version, which is the one I've got. Yeah,
which is that the Keith Gifford version?
Yes.
Or the So the Keith Gifford version's a bit on the weird side, purely on the basis that it's his translation of the story, and it goes off piste. Let's just say that.
So it's adapted.
It's a very much a different variation. So it's done as a TV reality show in his variation. Yeah, which is not the same as the book.
And then the original author penned a lot of mangas as well. So he still was writing Battle Royale as a manga series. So there's an alternative to the stories we know from Battle Royale as well.
Which is nice actually, because it gives more depth to the characters and their relationships. So yeah,
it's funny that when video games were mentioned as we were watching this, Fortnite came up, but that's not what I was thinking. I was thinking of Battlegrounds.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
That was first.
Yeah.
So
that was first, but also like their kit and everything was, pots and pans and whatever the fuck.
The single bag. The Battlegrounds did have that marketing campaign where you had the single bags as well. Backpacks.
Yeah. Dude, some of the the three guys with the hacker, three friends. Yeah.
Me shouting hack the planet.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet! Shut up and get in the car! Hack the planet!
It's like the guy had like a plastic pot over his head with a flashlight attached to it. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get more of those guys, because I actually completely forgot, some of the set pieces in this movie, and I was expecting, what's the name of the bad guy in this? Like, we get the fucking high schooler.
Kuzoro?
The transfer student, you mean?
Yes.
Which he isn't a transfer student in the original
No, he's not.
book.
He's a Yakuza member. Well, basically his dad's a Yakuza member and he kind of creates his own gang. But there's this whole backstory for him where Kazuo, where he had brain damage of some sort after an accident. Yeah.
He definitely shoots like someone had brain damage, because he shoots like a stormtrooper, dude.
But the thing with the book is that the reason why they talk about his brain damage is because he's completely unempathetic to anybody around him. So he in the
like a lack
novel,
of empathy, you mean?
Yeah, he in the novel he brings his gang together to execute them, and he has no feelings whatsoever around it, apart from, hey, that's 4 or 5 kids down out of 42. And he just has, so in his head he's sort of going like, well, the only way I'm going to survive is if I start killing. Whereas in the movie he is just a killing machine. That's it.
Yeah,
there's no reason for it.
He just wants to watch the world burn, basically. I just kept thinking of Nero, if I was thinking of a Roman emperor. Yeah. That kind of deranged, like, it's just...
Hello, handsome. Might I procure your services?
What do I have to do?
Oh, nothing sordid, I assure you. Simply vomit on me ever so gently while I humiliate a pheasant. Save it for the boudoir.
I think of him as being a bit like he's like the Michael Myers figure, it's like having a slasher villain in this movie. He's just the unstoppable force, he doesn't, he's kind of faceless in a way. Yeah.
I also like the kind of predatory kind of scavenging nature of this character, because every time he killed somebody, he took something from them. You know what I mean? Like there was every single time he took a weapon or he took the vest. But I said earlier that it's kind of essential. Again, another plea with our listeners. If you are going to revisit this, and it's widely available now, it's very probable that the first copy that falls into your hands will be the director's cut. Watch that one. ignore the theatrical, I think. And the reason why, particularly for one reason, and that reason is a character that takes center stage here. Her name is Mitsuko. In the director's cut, we get exposition that is kind of required to understand why this girl has this psychopathic kind of edge to her. Obviously, we get an entire sequence that was not in the theatrical. And that is the traumatic flashback that we get from Mitsuko.
Which is a hell of a lot worse.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up, but it's necessary because otherwise she has no motivation to be let down.
There is another scene in the director's cut, which I think is super important, but we can't talk about that without talking about the ending. So maybe I'll
go ahead.
Yeah,
we'll jump around.
Well,
Ricky, you happy to jump around?
Yep.
Yeah, because in the very beginning, it's the hanging. Basically, the character walks in on, and it's that's only in the director's cut, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's also the content of the first phone call I had with Ricky about this movie.
So there's the sort of like the paper little banner that the father's left on himself after he's killed himself, and it says, "Oh, good luck." Kind of like go for it, make the best out of your life. Ironically.
You mean on the toilet paper?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And it's ironically, it's hanging on his corpse. And at the very end, you get the same thing with the principal, who's like, he's putting himself forward to be shot, and he keeps saying, "Go for it, go on, you can do it." It's this thing where the parents, the adults, are telling their kids, like, "Yeah, you can do it. By the way, I'm out." That sort of thing. It's like, they're stepping away or literally dying and leaving them with just like, a piece of toilet paper with something written on it. It's like, what could be more worthless, basically.
Absolutely. And also in the director's cut, we get that line from Kitano, which is not in the theatrical, and it ends the movie. Yeah. So it becomes like an epitaph for this movie, which again takes us back. It's an encapsulation of the trauma that the director has endured when he was younger, because that last line that we hear in this movie is, in this moment, what should an adult say to a kid? Yeah. And I don't think that's in the theatrical. I think that's the closer for here. There's other stuff, like also the knife, the passing of the knife. I had to think about it as well. Like it took me a while, but today I had the realization that, that wasn't the theatrical. I wish I had a greater memory of what was in the,
I think we're actually, we're giving a lot to the director's cut, which there's a few things that we've already said where actually it was in the theatrical. It was just the scenes were shorter. Shoyo's a dad who hangs himself. It only gets mentioned, and then you hear a voiceover going a couple of times. So you only see it once. And then later on, it's just referred to as a voiceover. When it got released in 2001, I didn't get to see it in the cinema, but I did get a copy of it as soon as I could when it hit video. So I got a copy. I think it was a tartan release when I first got it, and I got a copy early on. Every time there's been a new release of this film, I have obtained a copy of it. So when it got to Tartan Extreme released it again, I got that copy, and that one it wasn't the director's cut yet, but it was sort of like hey, this is the version that was released in Japan, but it was a theatrical cut. And then after that was the Big Arrow release, which was, and I can't remember what the year was, but yeah, it's the 25th anniversary one. And I got the one where it was, they made 1,000 copies of this beautiful set where it had the theatrical release, the director's cut, all the special features, and all of the art cards and posters and whatnot that they all threw in there. So since 2002, I have probably seen this film once every year, maybe about 4 or 5 times when I initially got it in 1 year. Then I kept showing it to people when I was at university, and then for whatever reason, I go, you know what, I'm going to put Battle Royale on. Director's cut, theatrical cut, don't care, I'm just going to whack it on. I think that what we keep remembering, or what people keep remembering, is actually that initial run or release that was like cut up by the UK censors, and not actually what the theatrical cut was when it was in Japan. And so actually there's not as many differences between the Japanese theatrical cut or the one that finally got an international release after all the controversy died down, compared to now the director's cut. So, there are quite a few scenes that we have been talking about that was there, but again, different markets, different censors have removed different sections of this film. And so different, as viewers, and depending on when you first experienced this film and how many times you've seen it since you first experienced that film, it's like this with a lot of Japanese movies. Like, you get one version, then another version, and another version. Another film that I'd like to compare that to is something like Ichi the Killer by Takeshi, where there are like 5 different cuts, but initially there was just a theatrical cut, and then there was the international unrated cut. But then, because of different censorships, you're never going to get that same film again, because again, it's one of those hyper-violent films that a lot of people sort of come in, do their own cut, and that way they can sell that to their market and not have to pay the additional royalties or whatever to a different company.
I mean, I wonder if, I don't want to mispronounce his name, is Mr. Fukasaku's death also takes away some of that control as well. It's not really called director's cut, it's called the special edition, possibly for a reason, and this movie got out of the creator's hands more than once, like you said. I mean, I didn't know this, but there's another version that came out in 2010, which is a 3D version of this movie. I don't even know why they did a 3D treatment here. I mean, I guess there's a kinetic energy to the movie for sure, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of 3D anymore. The gimmick has died for me. So.
Yeah, I think it was to exploit the fact that they added a lot of CG to it, but they wanted it to like sell better than the special edition did in Japan. So they thought, hey, if we make a 3D version, that's another gimmick that we can sell on this current market. I love Anchor Bay.
I love that company, man. I remember.
I love Anchor Bay, and I've got a lot of stuff, especially like their treatment of Hellraiser back in the day. No. Okay. But they did a very shoddy make of Battle Royale as well, and that became that became one of the releases that everybody owned.
Yeah,
but when
it's the one I have.
Yeah, it's probably the one I bought as well at some point.
Yeah.
But when you compare it to what Arrow's done to it, or what they've done to the special edition and how they've presented it, that Anchor Bay version is terrible in comparison to all of the copies that are out at the moment. And it's such a shame because, Western markets don't treat Eastern markets as well as they should do. And then you have to wait 15 to 20 years after the initial release to actually get the film that it was meant to be. And I think this is what's happened with this original Battle Royale. And if Battle Royale 2 actually had a better critical response, maybe we would have that for Battle Royale 2, but we've only got this terrible version of Battle Royale 2 that nobody likes. So,
I mean, I think about how a lot of these films, how a lot of us, well, maybe I don't know about you guys, but a lot of these films, when I watched them in the early 2000s, in the 90s, it was bootlegs. It was bootlegs. God forbid, you sometimes got things on, and some of you might have experienced this, VCDs.
Yes.
Anyone remember VCDs?
Yep. We all remember VCDs.
Yeah.
My God.
Because they were pirated in Hong Kong or something, and that was the way you got them if you wanted to get them quickly sometimes. So.
There was a requirement. There was a requirement for me whenever I bought like a burner, or whenever I bought and needed to be able to do that as well. Like at one point I had a DVD player that if it didn't play VCDs, I would return it. It was essential. It's bananas to me because basically the VCD content, what was the maximum capacity of VCD?
360?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was 700, wasn't it?
Maybe 720.
700.
Yeah.
He's right. It's the equivalent of a dual layer CD, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
What was
and
the
then you have to-
resolution? 360?
Dog shit. That's what it was. It was dog shit.
Was it 540? could
All
be
I remember was pixels the size of your eyeballs.
Very large bars at the top.
You see the resolution. This makes it
macro
ready to
blocking.
tell.
Like,
Yeah.
there's-
Oh
yeah.
my god!
I had a copy of, I used to have a Philips CDI, and I had a copy of
God.
the Addams Family Values, and there's a scene where it got particularly dark in the background, and the blocks were fucking huge. They just looked like toast next to each other.
350.
350
was 350.
Oh, I was
right
so
away.
close. I said
Is it-
360.
Is it 350p or?
Yes.
Or is it-
No.
Yeah,
But the idea is that the worst part of this is that the native format was 4.3 as well. So whenever you got something, you actually got black bars on the.
Yeah, I
it was
remember the black bars.
Not intended black bars. But anyway, those were the days. Those were the days.
Once upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we laughed away the hours. Think of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose. We'd fight and never lose. For we were young and sure to have our way.
If you think about it, most of our computer monitors at the time were 4.3 anyway. So we didn't really get to see that much of a difference. I can remember fucking about with contrast so much on those.
Aye. So when we were watching this, we were thinking about location, and Steve almost had a stroke trying to think about the name of the location. We all know now. Obviously, we all looked it up.
We do. Yeah,
Steve, you want to tell us? Because you've been to Japan 9 times, so you
9
wanna...
times. Yeah, so it's Hachio Kojima. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Yes,
an
it
island.
is.
It's an island off the coast of Japan. It's a volcanic island. I've got my notes just here.
Mhm.
But it's quite interesting because it's not the only locations used. And then there's also Shibuya, where some of the external scenes were actually filmed, especially at the end.
And
Yeah, I was
Kawasaki
about to
as well.
say where they're running off in the end. That's
Yeah.
Shibuya.
Shibuya.
It's
Yeah.
a scramble crossing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I totally thought
And
you were going
I
to start
love
that
that
off
area.
with Hideo Kojima. And I was like, nah, mate, that's
Oh,
Metal Gear
no,
Solid.
Don't you fucking bring him into the conversation. He'll fucking...
You know he loves this movie.
He'll pop out of the edge saying, hello.
Kojima. Fucking summon him.
Kojima.
Hello everyone. I'm back. Thank you. Today I bring something new. We made for you, and this is all running in real time.
This film starts off quite amazingly with an information video about the BR Act.
Yes, it does.
In the extras, there's like a million cuts of that.
Yeah. I did love her, like the little hat and everything, and just the overly confident and always bubbly. Yeah, I love that.
Konnichiwa. It's that kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? But did you see how enamored Kitano is with this girl? Because someone's making noise in the classroom and he's getting everybody's attention because she's talking on the screen.
Yeah.
Just fucking-
And it's quite a good way of bringing the audience along for the ride, because to bring the audience in by actually giving them a rundown information video but making it so late 90s naughty style of like mixed graphics, people with like cheery faces, even, you know, just all the little animation bits. It's an amazing way of just shorthanding exactly what you're about to watch.
Yeah, I feel there's a bit of that theme going through the movie as well, because there's the whole, you know, if we present it in a cheery, routine manner, you're going to accept it, even if it's like, you know, murder. Like they have the little, like, he does his little calisthenics and his workout type thing as well. It's like, yeah, let's do the school routine. Everything has to be kind of like, you know, we've got to go for it and be cheerful, even though, you know, you're killing each other. Yay.
That sequence is fucking awesome because
yeah.
he's on a pedestal, like he's on a podium doing it, and there's nobody around him. Like it's fantastic. I mean, I love him though. He's got such a on-screen presence. Is he still around? Is Kitano still around?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. There's actually a Mick Takeshi film that he was in like way after this. I'm saying about 10 years after this, where he's only in it for about 8 minutes of runtime. And every time he comes on, you're like, ooh, what's going to happen? But he's literally just an advisor to one of the characters. But he has so much screen presence. And again, yes, he was a very popular celebrity in Japan. So, of course, whenever you see him, you've got to imagine him like, I don't know, like some... I'm trying to think of a presenter that wouldn't offend us that we spoke about right now. I don't know, like Geraldo or something like that.
I love Kitano's films. I love him as a performer and a director. I have no reservation that he's a nice guy. I think of him as like, you know, he's the Japanese Jim Davidson. He's like,
Jim Davidson. That will do.
Yeah, Japanese Jim Davidson.
Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah, he's that kind of person. And, you know, I mean, he's right wing. It's like, that's the person he is. But you know, people have seen him regularly on TV as the host of shit. And you know, it's like, yeah.
He has authority. He has authority with the public.
Yeah, exactly. You know, yeah.
That's why this role is perfect for him. He's a figure of authority here. That's, you know.
But he's also quite a versatile man, as in a versatile actor through lots. I mean, his portrayal of Zatoichi is
it's fantastic. Yeah. It would be worth noting, because you were not here, Ricky, that I did say something to Winter while watching the movie. I said, you know that Ricky has a teaching background, and then in my head I was like, I know exactly why Ricky loves this. This is Teacher's Porn. This movie's Teacher's Porn.
No, it's not. 42 students in a classroom is utter hell.
No,
they all fucking die, mate. They all fucking die. And he gets to call the shots.
Yeah, but from the moment he gets his leg slashed to the moment he basically allows himself to be shot, you're right. It's exactly what I love.
Yeah. You know the scene after he gets slashed? And right before he quits, the last thing you see him do is he's washing his hands.
Yeah,
he's washing his hands of all of this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. You're all going to die now.
But he's also trying to keep a dignity that nobody in the school is allowing him to have. Even though he's been slashed, he's like, I'm going to get up. My hands are covered in blood. I am not leaving this school with my hands covered in blood. Even though he is part of the reasons that his hand does get covered in blood by the end of the film. But he's also being forced by the government.
Is there a cat meowing?
Oh, shit. Yeah, there is a cat meowing.
What the fuck is going on? I thought it was Steve for a moment. I was like, Steve, what the fuck are you doing?
My cats are downstairs.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was you. You were meowing. Yeah, I don't know why.
He's getting turned on by Kitano being slashed and washing his hands.
Oh man, no! I'm just. The key thing with this is the fact that he takes the original, the new teacher, and fucking where he wasn't on board with this, and we killed him. It's like,
he was a fucking nothing in this movie. That guy.
Yeah. But he's a big element in the fact that the school turns around and enjoys school. That class enjoys the camaraderie of a classroom with that one teacher.
True,
and in this movie, he's fucking toasted. He's like completely gone.
Because he's basically, in a way, removed all sense of pride. Beat Takeshi, he basically thought they were too much of a hard class to teach. Like, there was no changing them. He couldn't even have them in class. They were just like, nah, we're out, teach. And yet, this other teacher has come along and proven what he could never do, which was teach a class. It's funny also that you said, like, oh, of course, Ricky's a teacher, so he loves this film. I've been loving this film even before I even imagined ever being a teacher. So
Teacher's been inside you. Oh, sorry, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, who's been inside me?
Teacher's been inside you.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Teacher's been inside you.
That's in the book. That's in the book and not the film.
Yeah, I've done quite a few number of years of therapy.
You
want
to talk about it? You want to talk about the teacher's been inside you?
You know, I thought I got over that trauma, but you make me relive it now.
Sorry.
What did I like about this film even before I knew I was going to be a teacher or that I love Japanese cinema or any of that? What I love about this film is that even though it is very highly melodramatic, it is still to the core a Japanese gore fest. And it's done with a proper story. And if it wasn't for, again, the novel, the story wouldn't be as tight as it is. There is at no point do you feel like it's going to let up. And I'm so glad that I rewatched it again, even though it's like the 80th time I've seen this film. What I really love about it is that by 20 minutes into the film, half an hour into the film, you've almost lost half the class. It's great. It's just bang, 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 bang. There's no let up whatsoever in this film.
I like that, actually. That it goes fast.
Yeah, the simple fact that the first person out the door gets a bow and instantly has already started killing people as they come out from the intro.
The dude with the crossbow, right?
Yeah. It's they're gone. That's it. They're done.
We're going to talk about Kawada, because Kawada his character is an amalgamation of every Western action hero. I mean, there's touches of Quint from Jaws. Yeah. There's Arnold. There's Bruce Willis in there. There's a little bit. At one point, Winter mentioned, was it Predator or Commando that you made? Predator. You mentioned Predator.
I think you mentioned Commando because he had this a let off steam moment.
Yeah, he had a let off steam moment, but you mentioned Predator because there was a moment in which he's looking in the woods, and it's I cannot accept anything other than even his backstory or whatever, like the fact that he's piloting the boat at the end as well. There's a lot of homages to I'm pretty sure that Mr. Fukasaku was a fan, you know.
Totally. And again, I feel like it's shorthand just to make it prove that why he survived the previous Battle Royale that he had the experience with his earlier class. You know, he is the one survivor, and there's a reason why he is the one survivor, because he already has the skill set. He's Liam Neeson. He's already got the skill set, the very specific skill set to survive a Battle Royale, you know.
You mentioned the melodrama, and he's the first offender. There's the entire story that we're giving his backstory. How he's like, he's because he's young, you know, it's still a young actor's performance, and that was laughable. Like that's when we started getting like heavy notes of melodrama.
I think that with the melodrama and with those bits, though, you need so much shorthand for this film because the amount of characters, even when you've lost half of them, you're kind of like, you've got to speed run all of these relationships. And, you know, that's sort of what I think is the beauty of the basketball scene is when you see the full basketball scene, it like, you know, shorthands everyone's relationship into this one moment. And, you know, and you get the secrets that Kawada has from his past, and everyone's basically like, you know, they're all connected in some way. I mean, the thing about the message about friendship in the ending as well is that kind of, you know, jokingly you can say, oh yeah, you know, the real battle royale was the friends we made along the way.
Absolutely. And the thing is,
friends we killed along the way.
if it wasn't, look, there's a reason why this movie works. Because if this were adults, this would be fucking comical from beginning to end. Because there's not enough time for the exposition required to layer an adult. But because they are teenagers, that melodrama or the fleeting nature of each one of these relationships and how much of a fucking nothing they mean, it's kind of all right. You know what I mean? So it works for this movie. There's a lot of freedom because of that.
Yeah, 42 characters and one set of huge amount of poisoning. Well, which we got to talk about because that's
the
fucking
best scene
brutal.
of this movie. It's
Absolutely
the best.
fucking brutal.
You know that's the scene that actually made this movie like one of Quentin's favorite movies. Tarantino adored this movie. He said he actually in more than one interview. I think in one
No
interview.
feet in the scene, though.
Sorry,
No feet in the scene, no.
it's a different cut. Quentin has his own, particular footage. But yeah, the idea is that that entire sequence as well, he lifted from that. If you look at the shootings, like the shootout, particularly in Inglourious Bastards, in the basement, that's, that akin to that. But that entire set piece is fantastic. There's a touch of, like it's reminiscent of Sam Raimi as well. Because it's a little bit of comedy there. You see the beats coming. When the girl sits down and eats the poison meal, it's amazing.
The bit where you see the girl with the poison like moving around the room, she looks at all the water bottles, and you're what's going to happen?
It's like fucking Cluedo.
Yeah. But again, it's all compressed into that one scene. But yeah.
That was actually the scene I thought was the most melodramatic. The way they're all reacting to each other, like, you bitch, you made me do that, and all that. And if you look at modern cinema now, like, there's stuff like Triangle of Sadness or other movies that kind of start seeing the humor of somebody dying, throwing up while they're dying, and trying to have a soliloquy at the same time, which this is what Battle Royale has. I also think that the melodrama actually does work, just like you said, it does work because of the age group. And it's what you said earlier. This whole film is about children being forced into adult situations and being told you are the next generation of adults. And the melodrama itself is a bunch of 15-year-olds being like, but I don't know how to do taxes and I don't know, that's really what the melodrama is. I mean, I just don't know how to like cut someone's throat with a sickle, but I'm going to try anyway. That's sort of thing.
You were more comedy, the two girls on the top of the fucking mountain going, we're here. And the next scene, they get brutally slaughtered. It's amazing.
It's a simple fact that he uses the megaphone to basically get the dying breaths of a girl. It's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking brutal.
It just empties a clip, an entire clip on both of them until they start rolling. It's more than bullet dancing. They're rolling on the ground. Each bullet gets them to move a little more. There's a lot of bullet dancing in this movie. I fucking love it.
The whole scene with Kuriyama Chiaki, I want to say.
Yes.
Who is she?
She is the
Chigusa.
one.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, she's Chigusa. She's the one who's the runner who has that initial fantasy.
Yeah.
And then has to deal with basically unwanted male gaze, and she deals with it brutally, and then gets to have a chat with that whole bit. It basically, you could take that bit and say, "This is if you're gonna like this film, watch this bit." And it's 10 or 15 minutes. That pretty much sums up the whole film. Somebody who is definite about her position in society, definite about her wants and needs, is brutal. And then has to face the mortality of life without ever seeing her adult years. And I think that scene in particular has comedy, it has violence, it has gore, it has strong characters, and it's really melodramatic, especially when she sat there and she suddenly has that thought of, can I just say this one last thing? It has everything in that one scene that makes the rest of the film great. It has everything you ever want. Even towards the end when you've got the antagonist and he's blind. The fact that he's blind and he's got these perfect blood
It
tears.
reminds me of Devilman.
Yeah,
but
it's great. Yeah. But again, he's shooting wildly. He's like listening out for sound. Oh, there's crackling fire anyway. There's no way he can hear them. But still, he's looking out for the sound, and he just shoots randomly and wildly. And
He's
he
wielding
gets
the
some-
pussy like Leatherface at the end of, doing
Yeah.
a chainsaw dance. In regards to, what's the name of the character? The guy that gets a crossbow, and he's like, I pictured this alternate universe in which this movie, this IP got more movies. I mean, over 20 years, like in the later installment, if he didn't die, he would be the guy that owns the largest import-export company that sells e-girl bathwater. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of beta male. As that sequence goes on, because she's being cruel to him as well, but it's kind of deserved. Like, I just, and we got a taste of that type of male presence in a movie recently. He's akin to Bear in Obsession. That's the way I saw. You haven't seen Obsession yet, Ricky.
Obsession is fucking great. That's
It is.
all I wanted to say.
But he reminded me of Bear. It's that
Yeah.
kind of male presence that I don't know.
Yeah, he's imposing his desire basically and going like, kind of like, hey, I love you. Didn't you realize, you should care kind of thing. And then, and this movie's full of that. So
And I don't see anything less masculine than that. You know what I mean? In having complete disregard for another person's existence just to get what you want. And yet again, there's no, I don't know how to put it. It's like, actually, I read something, I think it was about the Big Bang Theory, how harmful those four characters were when you look at them, all of them. And I rewatched the series, and I see it under a different light now.
But that's most of the men in. I think the film's pointing out that that's the behavior that society sets up in people. Like even Kitano is the whole. He's been a shit kind of like
Oh, he's the old god.
Yeah,
but
he's also like he's been drunk, he's been reckless. You see that suggestion of that,
and completely neglects his own daughter.
Yeah.
So.
But he still expects to be respected despite doing nothing, and then he wonders why he's lonely. It's that I think of the Simpsons like soundbite of Principal Skinner going, it's the kids who are wrong.
Why, there are no children here at the 4-H club either. Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
How he basically has that one painting, which actual Takeshi, he painted that.
Oh, it's his fantasy, yeah.
Yeah, that simple fantasy of the final girl and what he expects as the survivor, where everybody else is dead and dying around her.
My question there then is the fantasy, was it a shared dream, or do you think that really happened? And it appears in the epilogue as well, when both Beat Takeshi and the final girl, Maeda Aki, they are meeting by the riverbed. Do you think that was just a shared dream, or do you think that actually happened prior to the game?
It's a very good question. I think it's a shared fantasy. And I think we get one side and we get the other side of it.
And I think it's like kind of crucial that it is just a fantasy. It's like it would be great to both of them if that was true, but that's not the reality. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the soundtrack of this movie. Holy shit, Verdi's Requiem has such impact. Like, I remember at the moment I heard it, it's like you have an imprint. You don't remember that because of Verdi. You remember it because of this movie.
So we talked about how, the male gaze and the male populace is seen in this film. But what we haven't really talked about is how heavy-handed the government is in this film. The fake 1984-style fascist government that's in this film, that never actually is seen apart from people in military gear. And yet, it's such an oppressive feeling because at the end of the day, you know, when you look at how the book was set up, this wasn't even a televised show. And even in the film, none of it's really televised, but apart from the media kind of swarms on the winner and everybody finds out who the winner is.
Everything else is internal. Yeah,
nothing is really sent out to the public. So this is definitely like a government program, a government activity that is kind of hushed. Like they probably don't even mention which class gets abducted until after the program's finished.
I mean, no surprise, it's a toy studio film, and I kept thinking of Godzilla. Every time you see like government interference in this, they're portrayed in the same way. Are you guys excited about Minus Zero?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna
Because the minus one was freaking amazing.
Yes, it was. Did we go together? We went together.
Yeah, we did.
So,
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up that since you were talking about the soundtrack, the visuals as well. I mean, outstanding cinematography in so much of this film, which is just like, you know, for what it's not just the action. There's the setting around the lighthouse, everything, you know, making use of the variety of scenery. The film kind of puts a lampshade on it at the bit towards the end where one of the characters says, "What a beautiful place, but horrible things happened here." And it's like drawing attention to the idea that, yes, we know it looks lovely. And they made some amazing work with just the general, I mean, you know, going back to, again, Takeshi Kitano standing alone doing his calisthenics in the yard. The framing of everything is just like outstanding.
They had the benefit of the locations as well.
Oh yeah.
The only thing I wanted to bring up at a certain point was the fact that there's a Evangelion actress, which is the poster girl for Battle Royale. So she did the original voice of one of the female leads in Evangelion.
Yeah, Asuka, wasn't it?
Yeah. So that would
Are you talking about the girl that is in the PSA videos?
Yes. Yeah, Yoko, I'm going to butcher this, Maru.
They sound very Italian, dude. Can you say it again?
Mio Mario.
Mio Mario. Mio Mario.
Hey, it's
Mio
me, Mario.
It's Mio Mario.
Fuck, man.
Yoko.
There hasn't been a single episode we didn't mention fucking Mario, dude.
Yoko Maru. Maru.
Now you're meowing.
Yeah, now I'm meowing. Meow.
Mio Mario.
Meow. Where's my cats?
Anything else?
Oh, that's me. I'm pretty.
No, not just from you. Anything else from all of us? Like, are we getting to?
No, we're just asking Steve.
I'm looking at the
anything
time.
else?
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, I was going to say Fujiwara Tatsuya, who played Shuya, the main protagonist male in this, then appeared in another great franchise, which was he played Light Yagami in the live-action Death Note.
Oh, wow, cool. Every time I saw him on screen, I kept thinking of O.J. Simpson in Naked Gun. Because in every movie, he just gets hurt repeatedly as soon as he enters the scene. And here, by the end of the movie, he's just fucked. He's just fucked. It's like
he can barely hold a gun in the last scene. It's great.
He takes a pounding. Even when they see him, he's like, yeah, I made it here now. Just from the beginning, he incrementally just gets hurt. It's,
And who knew that, like, it'd be a scene where he's not even part of the deaths. He's just locked away in the lighthouse, and he's just hearing all these screams and these gunfires and all that stuff, and he's just like trying to get himself together while he gets to the door being like, hey, I can hear gunshots, what's going on, girls?
He doesn't know how fucking lucky he is, because that wasn't that plate going to him.
Yeah.
That's the irony as well, right? Okay, so it is rating times. Yeah, have we gone there?
So as its ratings, I've given it 8.5. Final text saying run, which is a bit weird, I know, but the last credits which come up, where the last kind of thing to end the movie is the word run. And for me, that encapsulates what comes next, or what we expected to come next. And this movie, when I originally watched it and now still holds true to that final sentiment, run. It encapsulates the movie, encapsulates how everybody else in the movie tries to get away from their killers. And this is a work of art, because we hadn't seen this kind of movie prior to this. We hadn't seen the kids, the actors in this kind of situation where it was basically kids chucked into an adult situation and hunted by their own classmates. I mean, we may have had dreams as children, wanting to kill our own classmates or something like that.
Sorry? Fuck.
Some of us.
Whoa. Fuck. Oh, shit.
Whoa, mate.
Oh, this stays in. This stays in.
It was supposed to be a joke. It was supposed to be a joke,
I think we're cancelled.
I don't know him. I don't know what the fuck he is. Do you know him? Do you know him? No.
Not anymore.
I'm watching you.
So what was your score again?
8.5 title screens, end credit scenes saying run.
Not bad. Not bad.
I have a huge love affair with this movie. I remember being a extreme Japanese film fan prior to this movie, but this definitely was one of the movies that brought this sort of cinema into the zeitgeist. I remember having long conversations in high school with a lot of my friends about this movie. I remember talking about it in uni. This film has always stuck with me. This is one of those films that you have to see it to believe it, and you have to actually put aside your sensibilities to one side and actually see the importance of a film like this. It's talking about politics. It's talking about being forced to grow up when you're not meant to. And yet a lot of people will look at this and just see it as a gore, blood splatter fest, but it's not. It is a film that requires us to always go back to and always revisit. And you don't have to revisit it as much as I do, but once every 5 to 10 years, it's a very important film. So I've given it an 8.9, and as everyone knows, if I do above an 8, I am highly recommending this, but not only highly recommending this, if you are in the vicinity near me, I will force you to watch this. And I mean that as a threat. So this is an 8.
Put a shock collar around your neck, right?
Mate, seriously. This is an 8.9 adolescent boys who are sexually aroused before being killed by a certain Misoko and then leaving the scene of the crime.
You guys have said a lot of what I would have said. I'm giving it 9.5 exploding necklaces, because this film blows your mind. Like Ricky said about the politics, just about the time the film came out, the things that the director brought from his own life to things that were happening in the world at the time the film was made. To the time the book was made, to the time that the film was made. The film never stops being relevant about something to the way what people expect out of kids. I'm also rating it that high because I kind of think that technically, different people have opinions about how effects and production impact a film. I think this is kind of like executed as well as it can be. You could have people can have an opinion on things like the effects, the blood, but I think they perfectly convey the impact it wants to have. It's a film that's melodramatic because it wants to be. It's a film that kind of heightens all of its characters because, like you've said earlier, they're kids in a exaggerated situation. So I don't think this film does anything. To me, it makes no mistakes. No film is perfect, obviously, and this is also just my reaction to it. But 9.5 because, again, mind-blowing in quality, in message, and in effect.
Nice. Very nice. This is an 8. It's an 8 on relevancy alone. I really, really like it when we get to revisit something. And this is the first time that we revisit something and so much time has passed for some of us. Ricky, you do like a periodic watch and that's fine. But for me, it was like the shock of realizing that I feel like I've seen this movie through like a two-way mirror. And when I watched it the first time, because it was 26 years ago, I was younger. And mainly I was closer to the point of view of these twins, right? And you said it yourself, like even from a physiological standpoint, some of these actors were 25. Guess how old I was. So you get this, you got a sense of affinity towards that side of things. But now, like Kitano, all of a sudden, and his experience and in his role in this movie, which was much more marginal when I watched the movie the first time, that was my perception. But now I see it from an adult standpoint. That's why now I see the fleeting nature of all these relationships. And it's not a criticism. This movie gets away with a lot because of that. So it has the right to have that melodrama in it. That's, but if a movie can do that to me 25 years later and give me an experience that was, remarkable from both sides of this two-way mirror, that's a fit within itself. And an 8 is a high score. I mean, like I said, on relevancy alone, the topics in this movie are extremely relevant, not to mention how influential this work is. We didn't mention once the Hunger Games. We mentioned that, but like, this is something that, and I don't want to be accusatory or anything, but it's inevitable that this movie was influential to that work as well. So it's an 8. It's an 8 Suntory premium malt beers. And on that note, this was Umba.
This was Steve.
This is Ricky.
This was Winter.
This better be kept in, by the way. Otherwise, I'm quitting the show. Right.
Hey!